Hello, and welcome to this brief introduction to the Clinical Evaluation of Language Fundamentals Preschool, 3rd edition. My name is Chris Huzinec, a National Senior Clinical Consultant for Pearson Clinical Assessment, and I will narrate this presentation. This brief presentation will provide an overview of the Clinical Evaluation of Language Fundamentals Preschool 3rd Edition, or CELF Preschool-3. Specifically, it will provide an overview, a summary of revision goals, an identification of uses and applications, a description of distinguishing features, and a summary of digital options for administration, scoring, and reporting. The authors of the CELF Preschool-3 are Elizabeth Weig, Wayne Secor, and Eleanor Semmel. Each has made outstanding contributions to the field of speech and language, and each is nationally recognized for their work with children with disabilities. The CELF Preschool-3 provides a flexible, multi-perspective assessment process for pinpointing a child's language and communication strengths and areas of need for support, and for making relevant recommendations for intervention and accommodation. The CELF Preschool-3 is an individually administered, norm-referenced instrument that can be used to assess the language and communication skills of children ages 3 through 6 years of age. It requires a qualification level of B. Administration and scoring are available as paper and pencil or digitally through Q Global. The diagnostic test, print and Q Global versions will be available in June 2020. The CELF Preschool-3 screening print kit will be available in August, and the diagnostic test will be available in November on Q Interactive. The CELF Preschool-3 can be used in school and clinical settings. It is an important part of a complete assessment process. It facilitates the collection of evidence about a child's communication abilities in multiple contexts. As a diagnostic battery, the CELF Preschool-3 continues to offer a balance of items across receptive and expressive modalities, as well as language content and structure. Additionally, the CELF Preschool-3 now offers more information on early literacy skills and pragmatic skills than its predecessors. It is now available digitally for both face-to-face administration and telepractice. Out-of-date items were removed, and later this year a new screening form will be available. When the new version of the CELF Preschool was being planned, specific goals and objectives were developed to guide the process. The following revision goals were adhered to. Respond to current trends in the preschool and early school experience by adding index scores to measure academic language readiness and early literacy skills. Increase diagnostic support by adding the connected speech sample, subtests, and analysis. Expand the CELF Preschool-3 to assist in assessing communication in context by adding the pragmatic activities checklist. Strengthen the evidence of this CELF Preschool-3 as a reliable and valid test for the diagnosis and classification of a language impairment in young children. Expand the floor of the test to provide greater diagnostic value for children ages 3 through 4 years of age. Expand the ceiling of the test to provide greater diagnostic value for children ages 5 to 6 years of age. The CELF Preschool-3 can be used to evaluate a child's general language ability and obtain information that assists in determining if the child has a language impairment. The CELF Preschool-3 can be used to evaluate the nature of a language impairment, early classroom and literacy fundamentals, and communication in context. The The CELF Preschool-3 provides a flexible, multi-perspective assessment, a balance of items across receptive and expressive modalities, as well as language content and structure. Information on early literacy skills and pragmatic skills, and guidance for making relevant recommendations for intervention and accommodations. The following updates were included in the CELF Preschool 3rd edition. Out-of-date items were removed. No more calculator, stamps, or newspaper. New digital as well as print administration options are available. 4 analyses for the connected speech subtest were included to evaluate expressive language. They include story organization, recalling facts and details, story grammar, and language structures. There are also 2 new index scores, the Academic Language Readiness Index and the Early Literacy Index. Additionally, a new pragmatic checklist was added, which uses activities to assess the child's interaction skills. The measure now includes easier test items to improve the floor for all ages, and updated norms based on the most current census to provide a more representative comparison for scores. In addition to the core language score, receptive language index, expressive language index, language content index, and language structure index, the Academic Language Readiness Index and Early Literacy Index were added. The Academic Language Readiness Index assesses expressive vocabulary, the ability to follow directions, and includes the descriptive pragmatics profile, while the Early Literacy Index encompasses phonological awareness and pre-literacy skills. There are 3 new subscales that were normed and provide scale scores. They are the phonological awareness, which evaluates the child's knowledge of the sound structure of language and the ability to manipulate sound through compound word and syllable blendings, sentence and syllable segmentation, and rhyme awareness and production. The descriptive pragmatics profile, which assesses nonverbal and verbal pragmatic skills that may influence social and academic communication, and the pre-literacy rating scale, which evaluates skills that may influence the development of reading and writing. Additionally, there are 2 criterion reference scores. The connected speech sample, which evaluates language skills in the context of a language sample to determine if the child's skills are acceptable, emerging, or beginning. And the pragmatic activities checklist, which was designed to assess social language skills that may interfere with a child's interactions and performance in various settings. In addition to the new subscales, the existing subscales were improved. The majority of them included additional items in order to expand the effectiveness of evaluating children who score at the highest and lowest levels. While the expressive vocabulary subscale removed out-of-date items, the calculator, telephone, and newspaper were deleted, and scores from this subscale were included as part of the new Academic Language Readiness Index. The following direction subscale also contributes to the new Academic Language Readiness Index, along with the expressive vocabulary and pragmatics profile subtests. The phonological awareness subscale now provides scaled scores and contributes to the Early Literacy Index, along with the pre-literacy rating scale. CELF Preschool-3 scoring is available on Q Global, a web-based digital platform that calculates all scores and presents test results in an easy-to-understand narrative report that can be downloaded and incorporated into clinical reports. The CELF Preschool-3 Q Global score reports are a separate component from the CELF Preschool-3 kit. The reports may be purchased individually or annually as an unlimited subscription. Evidence-based interventions are also included as an optional selection in the reports. These intervention suggestions align to the child's standard score and to his or her age where appropriate. In addition, a digital version of the CELF Preschool-3 manual and stimulus book are available on Q Global. The CELF Preschool-3 is also available for purchase on Q Interactive, a digital platform that allows the administration and scoring of a test using two digital tablets that work together through a Bluetooth connection. An examiner uses one tablet to give instructions to the child, record and score responses, take notes, and control visual stimuli. The child uses the other tablet to view and respond to subtest items. For more information, please contact customer support at the following phone numbers or web links.